Other world, if the Browns didn't exist, that's his lot in life. So I have a hard time feeling as if Dillon Gabriel's like, man, did I really lose out on my opportunity?
They the reason they even in this whole situation, bro. Look like some Cleveland Brown reporters definitely opens up about Dillon Gabriel. I'm here to tell you that possibly will not be the case moving forward. Oh, and it looked like the Cleveland Browns front office is making demands for Kevin Stefanski to get rid of one of these quarterbacks. It is that he's been rumbling through the facility. He's still there, and he's definitely still on his football team. I'm wondering what the Cleveland Browns is about to do with this Deshaun Watson situation. Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski opens up about the current QB battle with Shedeur Sanders, Dillon Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and veteran quarterback Joe Flacco.
Dillon Gabriel is more head of Shedeur for his head and shoulders. Man, I'm not buying that. Shedeur Sanders is a legit, big-time franchise quarterback.
It's the topic of the hour. That is this Dillon Gabriel situation. So some Cleveland Brown reporters kind of went in on Dillon Gabriel yet again. And y'all know me, man. We got to pull it up. We got to listen to it. Let's check it out right now.
Now, I definitely am going to improve on that, but I have a good solid foundation and just prep for pro day and all that different type of stuff.
If we just look at it from the Dillon Gabriel,
I'm not speaking about him publicly, but insiders is leaking information. I don't know, but it's looking real spooky.
if we just look at it from the Dillon Gabriel perspective, you can see how unintentionally then taking Shedeur Sanders 2 rounds later might have been the worst thing for Dillon's stock in Cleveland.
I think it's wonderful. It's about time that, these kids look like they're having a great time down here. Because usually it's not just nice. So I'm loving it.
I have seen it at Colorado, and he was one of the best.
Like, Dillon's got to understand that, although, so the other side of that, though, is that he should just be happy he was taken in the third round.
Just grateful for life.
Yeah, there's a part of Dillon Gabriel that I go back to this all the time, is that, like, he was projected 6th or 7th round. There's a real chance that Dillon Gabriel...
They know Shedeur Sanders is way ahead of...
We know Shedeur Sanders is currently dealing with this quarterback battle that's going on in Cleveland, Ohio.
Other world, if the Browns didn't exist, that's his lot in life. So I have a hard time feeling as if Dillon Gabriel's like, man, did I really lose out on my opportunity?
Dillon Gabriel just got suspended after an explosive clash with Shedeur Sanders on July 22nd. In just 72 hours, the rookie quarterback battle turned into the most chaotic, emotional, and divisive storyline of the entire NFL preseason. And now, with one quarterback gone and another rising fast, the Browns are facing a storm they never saw coming. Look like some Cleveland Brown reporters. Definitely opens up about Dillon Gabriel. It was supposed to be just another day at Browns training camp, just another red zone installation session, part of the weekly grind. But during that window between July 21st and 22nd, things didn't go as planned. Something snapped. Practice was suddenly shut down. Head coach Kevin Stefanski walked off the field, furious and silent. Minutes later, the reports hit like thunder. Dillon Gabriel suspended. Shedeur Sanders involved. Wait, what? People didn't even know what they were reading at first. This wasn't a late camp drama. This was early, and it hit like a bomb. I'm here to tell you that possibly will not be the case moving forward. So what really happened that flipped the Browns' entire QB dynamic upside down? Sources close to the team confirmed it wasn't just a shouting match. It was a full-blown altercation, physical enough to warrant an indefinite suspension, a literal fight between rookie quarterbacks on the practice field right in front of staff, veterans, coaches, and cameras. And just like that, what was supposed to be a quiet QB competition between 4 players became national news. But here's the thing. This wasn't random. This clash had been brewing for months, and anyone paying attention could see it. Because let's be honest, this wasn't just football. This was ego, pressure, and politics all boiling over in one dangerous moment. He's still there, and he's definitely still on his football team. Dillon Gabriel came in with his head down, 3rd-round pick out of Oregon, respected, poised, and process-driven. He had the playbook, the clean mechanics, and the patience. Then there was Shedeur Sanders. 5th-round pick, Dillon son. Swagger turned all the way up. From the outside, it was all smiles. But on the inside, the energy was tense. You could see it during rookie minicamp. You could feel it in the pressers. And if you were on social media, it was obvious. The subtle cold shoulders, no shout-outs, no chemistry, body language doesn't lie. And in that moment on the red zone field, all the friction came to the surface. It wasn't about a missed route or a bad snap. It was about respect, position, power. One side felt disrespected. The other felt threatened. And instead of clearing the air, fists nearly flew. And the Browns were left stunned. Now, Shedeur didn't get suspended. Gabriel did. That alone tells you something. Stefanski didn't hesitate. Gabriel was pulled. The team launched an internal investigation. No timeline, no public apology, just silence. And the locker room shaken. Some guys picked sides. Others just kept their heads down, not trying to get dragged into the chaos. This wasn't just a fight. It was a reflection of a much deeper divide. On one side, you've got ownership, fully backing Shedeur Sanders. They love the leadership, the off-field character, the marketing potential. And let's be honest, the fans love him too. On the other side, the coaching staff, many of whom were rooting for Gabriel's slow, methodical rise. But in this system, only one can start. And suddenly, that quiet competition turned into a full-blown civil war. And here's the twist. Just before this whole thing blew up, Gabriel was actually performing well. He was throwing strikes in practice, scored on a red zone throw that same week. But the pressure, it was clearly getting to him. With Sanders gaining momentum on the field and off, Gabriel looked like a man walking on glass. Every move watched. Every mistake magnified. Now, I definitely am gonna improve on that. But I have a good, solid foundation and just prep for pro day and all that different type of stuff. Sanders, meanwhile, didn't flinch. Even after the clash, he addressed the situation with a calm warning to his teammates. Competition is welcome, but disrespect, that's different. That one line, it echoed across the locker room. It wasn't said with anger. It was said with authority. And whether he meant to or not, Shedeur Sanders just cemented himself as the leader of that room. If you're locked into this Browns chaos like we are, hit that subscribe button. Because trust me, this drama is just getting started and you do not want to miss what Shedeur Sanders does next. So now the Browns aren't just dealing with a suspended rookie. They're managing a fractured quarterback battle, a media firestorm, and locker room uncertainty. The room already had Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, two vets who know how quickly drama can derail a season. Now they're caught in the middle of the most toxic rookie quarterback rivalry in the league. One thing's for sure, this wasn't a one-off moment. It was the first explosion of something much deeper. And if the Browns don't handle it right, it won't be the last. So right after the clash, boom, just like that, Kevin Stefanski makes the call. Dillon Gabriel suspended indefinitely. No press conference with damage control. No long statement filled with fluff. Just those cold, weighty words, conduct detrimental to the team. And the timeline? Yeah, they didn't give one. That's the NFL equivalent of don't call us, we'll call you. Gabriel was just gone. Poof, off the field, off the radar. Inside the locker room, straight up silence and not the good kind. The kind where even the vets, guys who've seen it all, were sitting on their helmets, not saying a word. The Browns didn't brush it off. They launched a full-blown internal investigation, HR meetings, player interviews. You'd think they were solving a murder, not a training camp fight. But this wasn't about just punishing Gabriel. It was about figuring out how bad the situation really was. Meanwhile, Sanders, still at practice, still throwing, still leading huddles. And that sent a message louder than any press release ever could. And now we're getting to the real problem. Behind the scenes, this incident exposed a big old ugly truth that people inside the building already knew. The Browns are split. I'm talking ownership versus coaching staff. And it's not subtle anymore. Browns ownership? They're all in on Shedeur Sanders. To them, this kid is the jackpot. The perfect mix of talent, charisma, leadership, and PR gold. He skipped the glitzy ESPYs to serve his new community during a local fire crisis. What billionaire wouldn't want that guy on the podium holding a Browns jersey? And the fans? Man, the fans are buying in hard. A few weeks ago, people were questioning if he could even make the final roster. Now they're chanting his name at open practice. First, he wins the city over by skipping the Hollywood spotlight to help Garden Valley fire victims. Then he handles one of the most dramatic camp scandals with poise, maturity, and control. That's quarterback one energy, no matter where he sits on the depth chart. This is no longer about who was drafted higher. This is about who the city and maybe the team has already chosen. Dillon Gabriel didn't come into training camp looking like a bust. Let's clear that up. He was slinging touchdowns, smooth in the pocket, calm presence, clean reads. He looked like the guy who could slowly grow into something solid. The kind of QB you develop, not dump. But the problem wasn't his play. It was the pressure. And let's be real. Dillon Gabriel might have just been the first casualty in the Browns' most toxic QB room in years. Because let's talk about that room for a second. You've got Joe Flacco, the Super Bowl vet. Kenny Pickett? Who's got something to prove? Then two rookies, one with the pedigree, one with the spotlight. That room wasn't just crowded. It was emotionally unstable. So where does it all go from here? Gabriel's future? Who knows? He might get cut. He might quietly return. He might end up in a different jersey by week 1. Nothing's clear. And Sanders, he's probably quarterback 2 now. But with Flacco holding the spot for now, it's just a matter of how long the leash is. Because if Shedeur keeps rising, Stefanski's going to feel that heat. If you stick with us until now, make sure you subscribe to the channel to get more updates.